Stillwater this morning. Scramble, glad to have you here. Daniel Thrasher in, and we're going to get back to talk. I wanted to talk about how you're teaching your kids at home now, too.
Oh, good. Yeah, we can get to that.
He's daddy teacher now. But
I don't know about that, but yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. Sherry Fletcher is with us, the marketing director for the city of Stillwater. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And these are interesting times, to be sure.
They are.
And I asked what you wanted to talk about, and when we had Mr. Bartley on before, we were talking about and with Daniel too, about the rules have been ramped up for masks. And I know Walmart people, I think, are all their employees are all wearing masks. And you kind of wanted to follow up on that a little bit.
Yeah. The mayor at Monday night's meeting said that for the city to reopen, he's probably looking at making masks mandatory. So I think it's something that people may, if they don't have access to one, they might want to start thinking of how they're going to get them. And the CDC says that you can wear, cloth face covering. So they have quite a pretty long list of what would actually be acceptable. However, for some people it's still really hard to get them. So the city's asking the seamstresses in town who have been making them for the hospital and city employees and the public safety people if they would continue making them and drop them off at City Hall. So once we get quite a few of them there, we're going to tell the public that they can come down to City Hall, and we'll have some process for people to get cloth face covering.
That will be an interesting time, I think. I think that would almost be almost an event. We're seeing that with whether it's sanitizer. I think it was the city of, maybe it's in Oklahoma City, but also Shawnee did that, I think, also, where groups are just having where first responders can come out, and they were supplying all that stuff for them. That would be a great event here in Stillwater with a mask, I think.
Yeah, kind of staging it will be interesting.
Yeah.
But we will make, as soon as we get enough that we don't run out just like in an hour or so, we'll tell the public that if they don't have one and they need one, to come to City Hall, and we'll figure out how to distribute those. So a mask could be, in addition to, the R95s, the P95s, the N95s, you've got all of those professionally made ones. But the face covering, it could be just a tightly woven scarf. So you just need to cover your nose from the bridge of your nose, past your mouth, and your chin from side to side. So it just needs to be covered. The best masks are 2 to 3 layers. And again, it's not really going to keep you from getting sick, but it will keep you from perhaps getting someone else sick, especially if you're asymptomatic and you don't realize you have it, and so you're not possibly spreading the virus that way. So that's really what that's for. It's kind of to make sure that we keep the virus spike down so that people aren't getting it.
Sherry, you can also even go online and find tutorials of how to make masks out of T-shirts or sweaters, bandanas, things like that. I made one last week. I had to make a Walmart run and didn't have really a mask available, so I found online how to take an old T-shirt 2 layers deep, a cotton one, and form a mask out of it, and it worked great. And so there's other options out there too that people can find online even.
Yeah, if you go to stillwater.org, click on the COVID-9 update banner at the top, and there's a link for face mask. And so we've got some instructions on how to make them. There's patterns if you're a seamstress, and we do have the no-sew kinds as well. We also have some instructions on how to make a ear saver, because some people don't like things behind their ears. So you can create some bands that will allow you to fasten it in the back. We had asked for a mask that had ties because some of the people, will need to wear them for their 8-hour shift. So having a tie would be better than maybe having something behind their ears. So there are lots of options out there.
I think there was even a group sewing them with buttons where you buttoned them.
Yeah, you can. Those are called ear savers.
Those are ear savers.
Those are ear savers. Yes.
Okay.
Some people are using the little monkey, the little toys with the monkeys. They link the monkeys so that you can link it around your head. I can't think of what they're called. Monkeys in a barrel.
Oh, okay.
Some people are actually even using those.
Being creative is.
Yes. So there are ways to to cover your face and to be comfortable at the same time.
Yeah,
So.
and I do think it presents a good kind of pressure because just like Daniel was saying, I felt the same way. I didn't have my mask in my car, and I
Right.
needed to make a stop, and so I went home first.
Yeah.
Because one, it's the right thing to do, but more people are having them not, and you don't want to stand out as being the guy that's doing wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like, you're trying to infect me.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's a good kind of pressure. That's why I was really glad to see Walmart, for example, that made it mandatory throughout the chain. I think on Monday, where their employees are, because the optics of it just weren't really very good.
Right.
And you felt for them, but it was noticeable that they didn't have them on, and
Yeah.
so we need to all be in this together. What type of time frame are we looking at, Sherry, or if we know when this could become mandatory?
I'm thinking it's probably within a couple of weeks, maybe
Yeah.
10 days.
Because it seems like I think El Reno had done this.
Guthrie is another
Right.
community.
Guthrie,
Yeah.
Lawton was very aggressive early on. So, and the thing is, you're able to look at some of these and you see positive results from them.
Right. And, and it is a way also for the citizens to protect those essential workers, like the grocery store workers and the pharmacy workers. If we wear a mask, it will help protect them. And they don't really have a choice. I mean, they are
Right.
working and doing these essential functions. So if we can do something to help, them continue that essential service, these services that we rely on, I think it's just, like you said, it's the right thing to do.
And that's a great point because we all want to start to get back to some kind of normalcy, and we all want to be able to shop and help out our local businesses. And this is one way we can do it. If we can all start wearing masks and showing that we can do it responsibly, I think this will help us get those things back open quicker.
Yeah, I think that's really the mayor's thought on this too. It's like they're watching the numbers, and if we flatten the curve, as everybody's been saying, and the numbers they start going down, and we're doing what we're supposed to, great. However, if there's a spike, then we're going to have to halt what we're doing
Right.
and address the additional people that have the COVID virus. So.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we're all in this together, and if we do nothing, that spike it's definitely going to happen. So this is what we can do to return to normalcy.
Yeah, and we've had the mayor on here every Monday, and it's really worked out because he's joining us about 8:05 on Monday mornings, and then Monday nights. You've been having meetings every week.
Every week
via Zoom, and you got that Zoom thing down now. By the way,
we do. It took us a little bit to figure it out. And we also had gotten some new equipment. I kind of had upgraded some of our broadcasting equipment. So now we can broadcast on Facebook and YouTube and the TV station, the local Channel 14.
Right.
So there are lots of ways to access the council meetings. Facebook Live was one that kind of surprised me how many people were watching it, through Facebook that maybe would not have otherwise because it just kind of pops up in your screen. So we've really expanded the number of people who see council meetings.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things. I know when we have Rob Hill on a regular basis, and he'll be on again Friday, but when he started doing some of even the storm type stuff and did Facebook Live, he could see the numbers, and it just sort of the light went on. We can do more of this and reach more people.
Yeah, and those have been very helpful for me as a business leader. If I can jump on at 5 a.m. and see Rob, and like if it's a ice storm or snowstorm, and Rob is driving around the community and showing me what roads look like, it's actually very helpful for me to make a decision of, okay, do we open on time? Do we delay opening? Which employees are we calling in? That's been a great thing that Rob has done. That's been very helpful for us as business leaders when he's out there at 5 a.m. driving the streets and I don't have to. So
there you go.
It's been good for him to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook Live is one of the features that Facebook obviously offers, but it actually prioritizes it. So, the people who they're on Facebook, the Facebook Lives are prioritized and they actually show up early in your news feed. So that's one thing that Facebook does is like if you're going live, it's obviously pretty important. So they prioritize it, and you can see it on the council meetings. The spike in people watching, city council meetings.
You know, the city of Stillwater was fairly aggressive with all this, with facing it head on. And I talked to Will on Monday and asked him about the feedback he's getting, because sometimes you see negative comments or whatever. But I said, it seems to me that the overwhelming consensus is we're on the right track, and thankful that we were. And so I think it is important to go to know that even though you're always going to have some people who don't agree, for the most part, the city of Stillwater has been very cooperative and very supportive, and that's why we've been successful so far. A big part of it, right?
It is, and you're right. You know, you can go look at like the city's Facebook page or some of the private group pages as well. And there's really not been a lot of pushback on anything that the city and the community itself has been doing. I mean, there is some frustration, obviously, with stores closed and people worrying about how they're going to pay their bills. But for the most part, it's like, let's do what we need to do to get past this. And so I do think that the community is doing the right thing, and they see that we cannot just do nothing.
Absolutely. Business of City Hall, obviously it's changed. We talked about last time, I think that I was on with you, we were talking about where you can enter if you needed to go in, and that was, I believe, right there where the police department is, right?
Yeah, the police lobby, at the north end of the building, the little vestibule there, it does have 24-hour access, and so it ended up being we had everything already in place. So if you wanted to enter the building because you needed to talk to an officer like at 2 in the morning, you can enter that doorway. There's a push button, and it notifies somebody that somebody's needing in. So what we've done, if you need to pay bills or you need to talk to someone about a permit, you got an issue with court or something, you can go and they will buzz you in. So they only let one person at a time into the lobby. And you can go in there, and the police lobby, the way it had been set up, again, it was like it was made for it. So we do have glass between the workers and the people in the lobby. So just letting one person in at a time, really taking care of that social distancing. And so, yeah, that's the only access point to the building right now.
Very good. Did we miss anything here?
I don't think so. It's just,
help out with masks. That's a great idea.
Yeah. And I didn't mention it, but if the seamstresses, if they wanted to, they could make some child-sized masks as well, because we'll be able to distribute them as well.
Very nice. Well, Sherry, let us know anything we can do to help. And
absolutely.
I'll talk to you maybe next week then. So
maybe.
Okay.
All right.
Sherry.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
All right. Bye-bye.